Yes, sir. We in the building, back in the building again. Urban Echoes Network Podcast. Peace. Kamati Kama here. Welcome back. Right now, today is going to be a little bit different. I got a little bit of a different energy because I got one of my brothers in the building.
Yes.
You know what I mean? My brother Ziar's in the building.
Yes.
You know, I was just saying, I can't. When I'm doing something like this, and I'm going back to, and I'm building with individuals that I know from back in the day and what we came from, that's what's a little bit different for me, because it's like I'm on a platform like this and I talk to other individuals. Yes. But like when I'm talking to one of my brothers, that's like I could look at you like family. We here. You know what I'm saying? From what we've been through. I ain't gonna tell your story. You're gonna tell your own story. But from what we've been through, you know, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself?
Ziar, aka YOLO Baking Soda, man. We came a long way, man. So I can start off where I met the brother at, right? So, you know, I was incarcerated. I did some time or whatever. And I was hearing about the brother. And I was reading some of his books, but I never met the brother.
All my shit right there. Yeah, it's more than that, dude.
Yeah, that's the brother's books right there.
Yeah, I mean.
But his books was circling around the prison system way before I even met him. So I ended up meeting the brother, good vibes, good education. And, you know, it's me and him been locked in ever since. He taught me how to write books, how to write screenplays, and I wrote my own book off of what he told me. So just to give y'all a little brief about myself, I am a entrepreneur. I'm a youth activist. I'm an artist. I'm also a CMOS vendor.
I see you got that right here.
Yeah, so
we're
going
to definitely talk about that.
I see the CMOS,
no doubt.
Ginger Shots, Waterbury, Burdock Group. But
health is wealth. Health is your wealth.
I got any flavor you need with CMOS. They booming up the charts. I actually just sold 2 on my way up here, and I had these 2 when I leave. I'm going to sell. So
let's go.
At booming, and I'm just a regular brother, man. I come from the hood, single mom. And, I come from the streets and, gang banging and violence and all of that. I changed my life. I started this curriculum called Higher Learning Youth Program for the kids. I'm in the public schools right now in Waterbury, Connecticut. And, I'm changing lives, man, and, doing a lot of stuff for the community.
I appreciate but now that you mentioned that, I'm saying even about the education, because now that you mentioned that, one of the topics that I want to talk about, which is one of our current topics, is the education system. I'm thinking about the education system growing up, and it's a big thing right now. Everybody know Trump got elected. Everybody know Trump that, he's going right now doing certain things with Elon Musk. He's doing certain things when it came down with the IRS, firing federal employees. But now he's touching with now he's going after the education system. And I'm sure that they were saying something about the DEI. And I'm not that familiar, so I'm not going to sit up there and act like I'm going to educate individuals about DEI. I'm a little bit about it, but what do you think about Trump and all of the attention that Trump is getting? I ain't gonna necessarily say about what Elon Musk and what he's doing on that side of the federal government, but what you think he's doing about with the education system? What do you think about that?
Trump is like a Kanye to me. Like, he be doing outlandish stuff that he know gonna get people attention.
Yeah, but small spin shit.
Yeah, he always doing something. Like, I like Trump. A lot of people got their own perceptions of Trump. I like him, but as far as what he's doing with the education system, I understand that he's trying to, dismantle the federal taxes and trying to, mitigate the federal sector of whatever they're trying to push. And, as long as it's, benefiting the kids and it's actually beneficial, I support it. Like you said, I don't have too much topics on that topic, but when it do come to education, I'm very keen on that. And I do know that the education needs some revamping. Like I said, I'm in the high schools, I'm in middle schools. I dropped out from schools. I graduated from alternative schools. I've been to college, out of state. So it's like, the education system needs some revamping right now. There's so much stuff going on inside them schools. Like, they're not even teaching kids cursive no more. Like, how you gonna sign checks? Like, it needs some revamping. So I hope he's doing some positive. You never really know with Trump, though. Like I said, he like a Kanye. He just be doing stuff.
That's so crazy, because I'm like, I sit up there and I'm watching this, and as somebody I don't believe everything I see on the media.
Right.
And a lot of times I be seeing shit on the media, I think it's a spin. I think it's like, they say it's like 3-card Monty. Pay attention over here, because we doing something over here.
We gonna shift these kilos under the road.
Yeah, so it's like, to me, I'm seeing things like, I'm seeing moves like that, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, let's think about the education system. Let's think about the education system when it comes down to urban neighborhoods, and let's think about the education system when it comes down to white neighborhoods. Let's think about the diversity. Let's think about how much money they allocate into different districts and situations like that. So I'm like, if it's really going to be a situation where you're going to revamp this entire system, is that going to play? Is that going to help urban kids? Is that going to put more money in urban teachers' hands? Is that going to give opportunity for, more opportunities? Or is it just like you're saying, is it some type of spin tactic to try to just either divert attention away from something else, but are you really going to tackle this issue of education?
And I'm gonna keep it 100. I think that he's approaching the situation wrong. Because why you not approaching the justice system? So
you mean the criminal justice system?
The criminal justice system. So as much money as y'all allocating to try to deal with the education system, y'all spend more money on the prisons and education in that manner. Like, I feel like you should pay attention to the prison systems. Like, why would you tackle the education system first before you tackle the prison system?
Well, you got to think that's that prison to pipeline. They say the prison pipeline. Yeah, the pipeline from schools to prison, and if you do the math through it, they were showing parallels when they were showing parallel from prison to school systems. They were showing how you ring the bell. Right. They was thinking about everything of how you can kind of indoctrinate somebody into this line of thinking, and that's why I said I ain't even gonna go into my thoughts on that, because again, I'm thinking just all of that to me is all spin. The whole school system in itself, to think that I must bring my kid to school and y'all gonna teach my kids something, and you got this white lady coming out sitting up there telling you about how the school system is basically purposely teaching you how to be racist, because we're not teaching kids the full history of everybody. We're not teaching kids how history went back thousands of years. All you're gonna get is the history that you get from Columbus up. Come on, man. So that's So I'm not. That's why I don't even really.
Yeah, like my woman right now, she homeschooling her daughter, and it's like.
And a lot of people doing that nowadays.
And I ain't got no kids right now, but when I have some kids, I'm homeschooling my kids. Yeah, I want them to be social, so of course they're gonna have some sociality with school. But the system is just, it's so many flaws in it, man. And I believe, since we're talking about education in school education starts in the home. Your parents is the first teachers. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, what was school for you like growing up?
School is where the females was.
All right, so you was more just about, you was on it like that. School, but what did you think about like the curriculum? I mean, I understand that when we go there, but as far as like the curriculum, do you believe that you could get a proper education, that you could move forward? Because you got a lot of people right now saying kids is just getting pushed through. You got a lot of people saying that some kids are saying literally kids are graduating, but they have a 8th grade education, a 9th grade education, where they pushing people through.
There was a topic in Waterbury recently about a month ago where a girl just graduated and from high school and she don't know how to read or write. And there was some controversy behind that. But me personally, how I feel about the education system is really on the perspective of you. It could be your heaven or it could be your hell. Because if you have a goal or a vision, or like I said, your parents should be the first teacher. So if your parents just teach you to go inside the school with a certain mindset, you should know how to use that as a pedestal. Like, okay, I'm going to need my high school diploma for this. I'm going to need this for that. I'm going to need this for this. But at the end of the day, I always thought that the school systems was shit. And at a young age, people looked at me as disobedient, or they looked at me as hard-headed. But the whole time, as I became an adult, I just realized I was an entrepreneur. And I'm not going to follow your system. Something inside of my heart realized that at a young kid. Right now, I'm an entrepreneur, but I understand something about that system didn't sit right with me. Yes, I'm going to follow and make my parents happy, but what am I doing to make me happy? So as I'm in school, I had a lot of problems. I got kicked out of every school I went to. I dropped out of high school.
You think they understood you?
No. Because they didn't, they were just trying to make me the better version of them. When I didn't even know myself as a kid, as a person. And this is what I try to express to them, but they didn't understand at the time. But they understand now. But that education in there didn't really, taught me how to read. It taught me the basics, It just taught me the basics. But the things that's actually going on in school and the way the teachers be teaching you, and I grew up in the hood, so I didn't have no prep school education or no private school education. I grew up with gangsters and killers and drug dealers, and they selling drugs in school, and females having sex in school. So it was like there was a lot of distraction. So, but to your topic, I feel like school is what you make of it. You could go in there and lollygag, or you could go in there and learn. Like, life is a school. Like, when you wake up and you have experiences, that's a school. It should be a school. You should learn and be able to teach what you learn. You know, so life is a school. So everything is on perception.
I mean, yeah, and I want to talk about that because again, I be thinking like when we got an image of black males and we have it's a stereotype, obviously, but we have this image that's perpetrated by the media. You know, how media manipulates certain things, but the reason why I say that is because I don't like keep going back to the being locked up. And when I was locked, it was the value of education. That's when you could start to see the separation because you had other brothers that was doing something else that's still doing that bullshit. I mean, like I'm educating individuals. I'm not telling you something, but I'm educating the people.
Keep it 100.
What's that?
What you see me in there doing when we was in there all day, every day?
I'm not gonna tell your story. That's what I'm telling you. I said that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to tell individuals you could see the difference. Yes. You could see the difference between somebody who is saying, you know what, I'm gonna take this time and I'm gonna take this opportunity and I'm gonna write. I'm gonna take this opportunity and I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna take this opportunity and I'm gonna change myself. Compared to other individuals who take that opportunity and waste it.
Right.
That say, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that bullshit, I'm going to do all the nonsense that I promise you everybody can get in so easily. Right. But I say that to say there was other individuals which stood out to me was brothers had their libraries. Yes. Brothers started to value education. Brothers started to value getting knowledge, value reading. And I'm talking about thugs, killers. Now, I ain't talking about niggas that's out there on some... But gangsters. That's the part where it's like... That's like lost. So it's like, again, when you came down to the media now, the media will never show you images of even thugs or killers. That's why this kid was like, yo, educated niggas, college kids coming home from prison with college educations.
And I wanna shout out my brother Alpha, man. I don't know if you remember, but it was these dudes. It was the first dudes in Connecticut that graduated from college, and they made the newspaper clippings. And that's just touch on the myth of education ain't important to black people. You had the first students in history in Connecticut to ever graduate from a certain curriculum, and that's my boy Alpha. Shout out to him. It was him and a couple people, and that's just breaking the statistics of like on top of that. Speaking on the education, and we have a label on us that say, hey, because you this, because you that, because you're inmate, because you black education is like. Education as a black man is like so important for us, and when you put in situations like you said, like you stand out and like you stick out. But there's signs of education as black people. Like we could go back to Mansa Musa. Like people speak about wealth and education, but they forget about that. The African people really taught people how to have running water and taught agriculture and really taught the science of time through the sun and science of how to like go hunt food, how a woman how to raise her kid and how to go through her menstrual cycle. So like education is super manipulated. Yeah,
what I think is what it is they don't give us the credit. Because even when I was inside there and I started again, that was when I started to build like the perception that individuals have of prison. Obviously it's gonna be out there. It's violent, it's crazy, it's wild. But one of the things, especially when you're talking about individuals who are knowledgeable, individuals who are trying to do better, individuals that saying, you know what, I seen what I did some self-reflecting and I want to change my life. Right. And it was an individual, I'm gonna give him a shout out to Ray C. Is this brother, he had a library. And I'm talking about some of the brothers, again, either 5%ers or individuals who was just on that path.
We had libraries.
I'm saying some brothers had libraries, but I'm thinking to myself, I think about the libraries and the books that I started to read. I started to read Rape of Paradise by Jan Carew. I read The Metal Netter. I began to read books about, Egyptian theology. I began to read books, Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. And I'm thinking to myself, all of these books that I'm reading,
Jim Crow laws.
I'm saying Jim Crow laws. The autobiography of Malcolm X. I'm like, all of these books that's teaching us a history that we never knew about. Right. You know what I'm saying? This is a history. This is a history. But it's a history that we didn't know about because we was never taught that. Right. Purposely. Right. We were purposely never taught our greatness. Purposely never taught to, again, go back to that myth of that ignorant nigga.
Right, but then that's how they break. We could go so deep in it, but that's how they break down the household. Now the woman is empowered because she got to play the man and the woman, and now the kids growing up emotional and don't know how to handle their emotions, and then we end up in jail because we are those kids.
Exactly.
So everything is systematic, man. But I want to talk about, like, they're talking about, the black dollar. They say the black dollar leaves the neighborhood in 16 hours, and it stays in the Asian community for 20 days. It stays in the Jewish community for 20 days. So it's like we got to educate our own people. Like we have to educate us. So we could look at it from a standpoint like when you first start, I'm gonna speak for myself. When I first started coming on education, I started pointing fingers. Oh, they this, that. But then when I started to dig deeper, I started to internalize this information. I'm like, hold up. What am I gonna do about this? And this one thing that my mom said to me when I was complaining, I was doing 5. I was gonna have 40 years, and I ended up doing. And at the time, I'm talking to my mom, and she's like, "Yo, you don't like the system? Become a part of it and change it." That thought process sparked a whole different person in me. Absolutely. So that's why I started hiring on the youth program to teach the youth financial literacy, negative versus positive self-talk, confident building things that's beyond finances and health and wealth and CMOS and how to be vegan and how to grow your own. So it's like education comes behind. Because how you really gonna think about education if you're going to school hungry, right? How you really gonna think about education if your mom getting beat on when you go back to school? If you how you really gonna think about education if you got a bully waiting outside, and as soon as you get off that bus, they're gonna be picking your pockets. So it's like there's underlining things that we have to pay attention to as a whole of education and the definition of education and what it means to us individually.
Absolutely, in the community. Now, with that being said, because we talk about that, and we was talking about the education system, I believe that the education system does not prepare or equip individuals with the skills that they need to grow, especially young black males.
Yes.
With that being said, I remember we was having a conversation with somebody else, and again, I like to talk real. I'm not going to play no games, so we're going to talk real. We have individuals that come home from jail. We got individuals that be like, yo, here, I'm going to give you a pack. I'm going to get you put on. I'm going to get you right. Now, I would never, ever advocate no shit like that. But at the same time, I think there's alternative means to get yourself right. Let's say, for the sake of argument, a brother said, you know what, I got a game plan, I got a vision, and I'm going to take this 20 bands and I'm going to turn this into a truck. I'm going to take this 20 bands and I'm going to turn this into a laundromat. I'm going to take this 20 bands and I'm going to turn this into, a rental complex. I'm going to take this 20 bands and I'm going to do something legit. One of the things that I advocate fully, hard body with, is I don't try to tell individuals, come home and get a job, do these things. I tell brothers, pursue entrepreneurial ventures.
Yes.
Pursue things that, because again, I was a worker. But I know that I'm a boss.
Right.
And I don't say that as on to toot my own horn, but that's just the reality of things.
The energy.
The energy and the reality of things is I'm a boss. So I work, and when I'm a worker, I'm one of the best workers. Whenever I'm working, I notice that I'm one of the best workers because I realize that what it is work ethic in me.
Yes.
It's nothing that the job is giving me. It's nothing that nobody giving me. I'm saying to myself, the type of person that I am, the type of caliber of individual that I am, whenever I'm doing something, I'm going to do it to the hardest. I'm going to go to the fullest. So I'm going to make sure that it's done right. So now imagine if I was to take that same energy and invest in myself.
And that thought changed my whole life.
And I see that's another, because I know I'm saying that because I know how much investment you go in. I know how you do the CMOS. I know how you're an entrepreneur. So these are the types of things that I want you to talk about because they don't know your story.
Right.
They don't know what you've been through. They don't know how many times how your hands is in certain things legally. They don't know how you make moves like that. So I'm trying to tell individuals that came home that are sit up there and thinking, nah, I got to go back to this. This is an example right here. You ain't got to go back to that.
I'm a perfect example. So let me get into it, right? Me coming home, I did 5 years. My first time in jail, did 5 years, right? So me coming home to nothing, no resources. They dropped me off in front of the parole building. They didn't give me no stipend. They didn't give me no clothes, no nothing. I came home to nothing in my pure mind, right? And I'm from the streets, They call me YOLO Baking Soda, but I changed my name to Ziar. That's another frequency we talk about, but me coming home, I didn't know what I was going to do. But because I had the name that I had 5 years ago and I was in the streets.
That reputation.
Everybody's trying to throw me everything. Yo, I got a key. Yo, I got a half of this. I have for that. In my mind, I'm like, I'm not. Like, I had it set up. So as you talking about being a worker and working, I worked the first 2 years. I probably had like 20 jobs, no cap. Either I quit or I fired, but I tried. I did not touch no drug. I didn't do nothing. I failed. I got videos on my phone when I'm crying. Got nothing. I couldn't even pay my bills, and I made it a thing that I'm not going back to the streets. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna find the avenue, right? So I tried. I did all the jobs. I did Whole Foods. I did Restaurant Depot. I did bars. I did all the the felon-friendly jobs, and it's like, that's just not for me. That's not my frequency. Like, my vibe just can't take it. I can't do it. It don't feel good. Like, I just can't do it. Like, me personally, I couldn't do it. But I understand that I have to go through the avenues to get where I want to be. So that's why in jail, I already equipped myself. I got my OSHA in jail. I got my psychology associates in jail. I educated myself to the point where I got my hospitality in jail, so I could work in any restaurant. My Serve Safe certification, I've been had that. So I prepared myself to when I come home, I could have these certain credentials that could propel me to where I need to be. So, year 1, year 2, I'm struggling. Like, and it's like, it's different when you struggle by yourself, but when you with your shorty and she used to you getting a certain amount of money and you in your head, like I used to make $50,000 every week, and now you going $1,000, $500 every week, and like you used to spending certain money, and your mind now we all have this thing called image, but I hope we grow out of that. But some people still stuck in this image where they ready to spend their whole last lot on a Gucci outfit or Dior outfit, and God bless those people, and I hope we rise up out of that, because if you look at the rich folks, they probably got a $5 Walmart suit on and got a whole wallet full of straight cash.
All they bread.
But just me going through my entrepreneurship, right? So 2023, January 2023, I was working at Whole Foods, and right, I was making music at that time, but I started to, like, I was in the bathroom, bro, and I was crying. I'm crying out of joy because I believed in myself so much, but it's like my bills was calling at me, and I couldn't quit because I had to pay my bill at this time. I had to pay my rent. I had to pay my car note. I had to pay my phone bill. But I was like crying out of joy, like, I got this. I got this. And wherever go, God gonna take me. In January 2023, I quit my job and I became an entrepreneur. It was rough. I saved up like 6 months of finances. I started doing Uber Eats. I was with my shorty at the time. We were selling clothes. I was doing DoorDash and stuff like that. And it was hard and it was rough. But I had met an individual, and this individual had introduced me to their business consultants. And the whole time I realized that, hold on, I got this higher learning youth program curriculum that I used to teach in jail, just sitting there. Remember I said I prepared myself for this. Yeah. But when I got home, I was so nervous and anxious. And I'm like, what about this and what about that? That I was putting my dreams on the back burner for a couple dollars. And that killed me. Because I got all of these $1 million, $1 billion plans, but I need to eat right now. Yeah. This right here gonna take some time, but I'm starving right now. What I'm gonna do for right now? I got my cousin calling me trying to drop me keys. All the fiends know, but they keep pulling up, still asking me if I got shit. I had this same number, so fiends was calling me from back in the days. Yo, I got 200. I'm like, I got nothing in my pocket. I'm like, damn, no, I keep click. You know what I'm saying? So I went through the process. So higher learning youth program. I ended up getting that nonprofit. And I started going to the community events. I started meeting the mayor. I started doing back to school drives with the hospitals, the health department, Waterbury Youth Services, YMCA. And they end up giving me $20,000. And now I get paid to go inside these schools. I'm a vendor for the public schools in Waterbury, and I teach the kids financial literacy.
See, and I ain't trying to cut your wisdom, but see, shit like that. When I be hearing brothers talking, right, and I be thinking about a situation where I look at a job, and you will have a job where you will see, let's say for the sake of argument, a McDonald's, and you'll have the worker who's doing the hardest work getting the least amount of money, and then you'll have the individuals that's, let's say for the sake of argument, more on higher ups, who's doing less work, who's getting more money. And for a while, somebody will think that dynamic is backwards, that dynamic has changed. And I had to learn that the reason why they're paying this person because this person's using their brain. And I'm saying that to say that you came home and just like you said, you put off a lot of your dreams because you like, I got to eat, and you using as basically you were selling yourself short.
Yes.
Because that's what I said that. Now, before we keep going too, we got to talk about this. Because this is another entrepreneur that I see. I mean, again, you wear many hats. I know about the music. I know about the music. I know about the entrepreneur as far as the writing. Books. I know about, but this is something new, and I see that you got this popping. I was always familiar about CMOS. I don't know too much about it. I see you over there glowing, looking young and fresh and energetic. So I know you tapping in with this. So what's this about?
For sure. So CMOS is a superfood, right? I get this from Africa. I import it from Africa. But it's Irish sea moss, and it has 92 of the 102 minerals that your body needs for daily consumption. It has iodine in it, magnesium, vitamin B, C, E, A. It helps with your nails, grow your hair. It helps your digestive system. It helps. It's a natural Viagra as well. Hey, yo, hold on. Y'all off the honey. Y'all off the honey and the Henny. When you hit Shooty with that CMOS, you heard me? I ain't even listen. That's
the plug alone.
Yeah, it's the plug alone. So it helps women regulate their menstrual cycles. It helps detox your system. It helps detox your lungs. It helps detox the parasites in your body. It helps with your energy. Like a lot of people use things like Red Bulls. This right here is a natural remedy to everything. Bull. Like it helps lower your A1C. You on blood pressure meds. Any kind of meds that you on, this helps regulate all of that. Like I encourage this to everybody in the world. And I got a website coming soon, but y'all can reach me on Facebook at Ziar, How You Learning. And we're going to get into the tags later on down the line.
Yeah, y'all definitely could look at the tags. The tags is going to be in the sponsorships. So tap in with some of that. I was always interested in this. I'm definitely always going to promote natural. I don't necessarily advocate anything that's unnatural. I don't like to tell people to take pills. They try to tell me to take pills. I had high blood pressure. I literally exercised, ate right, drank right, went back to the doctor. The doctor said, we don't know what happened, but your blood pressure is right. You ain't got to take it. I'm telling you. So with certain things like that, I'm about that natural remedy.
And it's cheaper. It's $40.
Let's go.
It's cheaper. And it'll last you a whole month.
And it's natural.
Them over-the-counter pills, all that stuff that you spend hundreds of dollars, the Medicaid, they don't let you get unless you got insurance. See more. And if you can't get next to me, get next to your natural person. And be careful with online, though, because they sell a lot of fake CMOS. So I advise you to just get with me and just call that short.
Get it right.
Yeah, you can get with me.
But with that being said, too, now I think about this. And again, it's a shame plug, but the growth in Black communities, economic growth in Black communities, and the fact that what you were saying earlier about the fact that how fast do that dollar get taken out the Black neighborhoods?
16 hours.
All right, 16 hours out. So it's bad, but even when I was building with brothers before and we start talking about the unity within cultures, the unity within races, economically, right now it's a big thing in my area. I salute and I'm standing up to the Indians. The Indians that's coming to this country and that's popping off. And people can see immigrants and all of that bullshit, man, they coming together.
They hustling.
They coming together and these dudes is building up stores, they building up all of these things. And I noticed that this culture, this Indian culture, just from my seat, visually, they sticking together.
And let me add something to that, right? And we speak about immigrants and we talk about them because we complain. Like, if you're a hustler, you ain't complaining about nobody else hustle. But it's something that I realized with these Mexicans, right? They're in one house, right? The rent is probably $1,000, but it's 10 people in there. And they all pay $100 per month. And this person pays for the food. This person pays for that. So they have a system sticking together. Now, if we could,
luxury.
Yes, if we could look at these systems instead of complaining, oh, we got the immigrant. No, look at these systems and gravitate to these systems. Because a lot of us been here forever and don't have the plugs that these immigrants or quote unquote immigrants come in. But if we change the thought process and look at their system and incorporate their system, like the brother said, he's proud of these people coming in here. So everything is on perception. Let's pay attention to the system.
And I love you, brother, I'm going to push back on that a little bit because we used to have that.
Yes.
We used to have that type of culture unity as Black people where we'll come together and we'll spend that money with each other. Unfortunately, statistically now, that money's going straight out. That money's going straight out to other cultures, going straight out to other neighborhoods. It's going straight out. But in the past, we used to have that, which is why I'm mentioning this to say, how do we bring something like that back? Because I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, but I'm just saying that once we identify it, you got other races and cultures saying, Black people don't stick together. Other races and cultures can identify. Now, don't get me wrong. You have some people who are knowledgeable, some people who are conscious, some people who will be like, yeah, nah, they're in tune, but they'll be like, yeah, nah, I want our culture, our race to grow and build. I'm supportive. Yes. I'm the type of individual, you look at my Facebook, Kamathi Kama, I'm going to support Black entrepreneurs. I'm going to support individuals that I see from my community. I'm supporting returning citizens that's coming home doing the right thing. I'm supportive of things like that because I know the importance of how we need that type of cultural unity.
Yes.
What would you say, and what do you think it would take to try to help build and bridge this community back? Because again, back to what I was saying about the media and the manipulation. We have this image of us as killers. We have this image of us as we beef and we warring. We got this image of, oh, you from the north side, I'm from the south side. You a Crip, I'm a Blood. You this, you that. We find a reason. It's like we gotta find a reason to separate. So how do we reverse that? Us as, again, because you younger, I'm a little bit older. So how do we reverse that? You as a younger Black male, coming from the streets, coming from this type of dynamic, going through the point right now where now you're an entrepreneur. How do you begin to say, you know what, let's get brothers together to start tapping in with this money. Let's get together and basically build and grow as a community.
Okay, so it's a couple ways I could attack that. First, as Black people, we have to start doing better with our professionalism. We have to start doing better with our setup because a lot of Black people support Black people and then, like, right, I'm going to start there, but perception as well. So you'll go to Nike store, right, and a Nike can mess up your order and you be like, it's okay, it's Nike. But you come to your brother and sister in the neighborhood and they mess up and be like, see, that's why I don't support Black people. See, that's why I don't support Black people.
Find an excuse.
Right. But then again, we have to tighten up our professionalism to understand the systematic ways of business. So if we know that, okay, we need a logo. If somebody's selling food, they need to be clean. So we have to understand the business side of it and the hospitality side of the business. And a lot of people go shooting off business off of finances, and it would never work if we're shooting off finances. We have to shoot off passion and ideas and community. That's what keeps a business thriving, is passion, ideas, and community. And like I said, a systematic form. You have a CEO, you have a worker, you have somebody who's in the field, you got somebody who's in the house, you got somebody who's doing the editor, you got somebody behind the camera. There's millions of jobs behind one business. So I think we have to change the perception of how we go about business and how we think about business. And also start supporting your brother. Again, we could go support Nike and say, hey, Nike just came out with a new Nike tech suit, but your man's down the street you grew up with just got a new clothing line, and it don't have to be fire. It might not be the best clothing brand, but he has something going on. Support him. Down south, they have that network. My roots are in North Carolina, Raleigh, and that's the network that I'm used to. It don't matter what you can have the corniest clothes ever. But support your brother, because it's not about that.
That's another thing I was going to say right there. When you think about, especially you talking about like down south, up north, and I'm thinking about that and the music. Because again, you wear another hat. You're a musician.
Yes.
And I'm thinking about the support that artists, as far as CT, and again, I'm from CT, Bowles Park, respect. But CT, when it comes down to the support that local artists give to each other, because I see that, I hear that, I can't tell you how many times I hear that. I go and see brothers be like, yo, I go to Atlanta. I go down here, I go here, I go here, I go here. I go to New York, and they'll hear me popping off on all my talent. They gonna rock with me. But in my own hometown, in my own block, in my own state, I won't get that type of love and support.
But you out here reposting Babyface Ray shit all day long and saying, oh, you don't even know him. You say happy birthday, Jada
wild shit. Like, why do you think, that's what I'm saying? So these are the types of things that I'm like, it's confusing to me. Honestly, it's confusing because I'm like, yo, I don't understand how an individual like yourself would say, you know what, man, I'm CT. What block? What town you from?
I'm from Waterbury.
You from Waterbury. Say less. So you went from Waterbury, you popping off. Now I know you'll see another artist, knowing your caliber of person who you are, you're going to support that individual. 100%. I'm going to rock with that individual. I'm going to build you up. Why is it that you believe that we have this pull down mentality? I don't want to keep saying that individuals have that much hate. I don't want to say individuals have that much envy. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Because I like to see brothers win.
So you know what it is too? A lot of people be hungry and they don't have the right diet, so of course they don't have the right mind frame. So try out to see more so you get healthy thoughts when you
get that balance right.
Yeah, for one, a lot of people be a lot of people be eating McDonald's and stuff. How you gonna have clear thoughts when everything is cloudy? You smoking weed, you drinking, your whole system is cloudy, so your thoughts gonna be cloudy. But for two, some of that stuff be generational. Like, I don't want to go back to Adam and Eve, but we got two bloodlines here. We got two different frequencies. You got the frequency who people come from this, and the frequency of people come. Sometimes it's just in people DNA. But to change it on a high frequency and why you should support, it's because it's free. It's free. It's free,
it's free
to
repost
your boys thing on Facebook. It's free to share your boy. It's free. You know how much energy it costs to sit here and hate? I don't even care if I don't like you. I'm gonna support you. Because even if you don't get on, or if I don't get on, CT gonna get on. And I'm gonna go back to the systematic of value of things, right? And when it comes to music, the DJ is just as important as the artist, just as important as the video man, just as important as the engineer. But you got these people who are over here, right? You got DJs that got connections to all type of artists. But you got artists in your hometown that you could bring with you. And when y'all book, then you got the party promoters. Y'all booking all of these artists just for one night. When you can actually have an artist from your hometown, right? When you book, for example, LBL, book LBL, right? Now also book a studio session, because that one night is gonna be come and go. But once you book a studio session, you make a song and you start promoting that. Now you get the most bang for your buck. But you gotta understand the importance of a DJ. It's just as much important as the artist, as important as the engineer, as important as the cameraman. We have to come together and share our resources. It's that simple.
It's that simple. Respect. One of the things that we talk about on our show is called the trauma unit. And the trauma unit is one of the myths that's perpetrated against black people. And one of the myths that's perpetrated that I always like to talk about, being that we was talking on the topic of education, is that black people do not value education. Black people are not smart. Black people are uneducated. Black people aren't articulate. Black people speak with a certain lang and a lingo. What do you feel about that?
I feel like we was brainwashed from the jump, and we got to understand that. So if you marketing yourself with baggy clothes and you got a hoodie on, people going to treat you like that. So we got to start dressing apart. We got to start changing the frequencies of where we're at. Like, instead of being in the clubs, go to business meetings. They free. You spending all this money to go in the clubs, you ain't getting nothing but a drink spilled on your shirt. And you done spent $4,000 on an outfit that you're not even going to wear. When you go to a free business expo and actually link and connect with people. So I think things starts with your mind, your body, your soul, where you at, where you present at. There's so many things that we have to start internally to change, so our external situation can change.
Absolutely,
you know?
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Again, having you in the building, it was a pleasure. It was an honor. We definitely got to do this again.
Yes.
Before we end. Shout out your social media. Shout out some of your sites. Let them know they can reach you at.
So you can find me on Instagram at YOLABAKINSODA, YOLO Baking Soda. You can find me on Facebook at Ziar Higher Learning, ZIAR Higher Learning. Website coming soon. Like I said, I got music coming soon. Different forms of CMOS. I'm about to have the gummy bears, the face mask, whole bunch of stuff going on. I do real estate as well. My Higher Learning Youth Program, you can follow my Higher Learning Youth Program page. It's on Facebook as well.
Hashtags, follow those hashtags.
Yes, Higher Learning Youth Program. We got things going on for the kids. So if y'all got anything for the community that's going on with the youth, let's connect, let's grow. I'm very heavily in my city. I just ran for city councilman about last month. But
let's go.
I lost by a couple points, but I'm in the community. I'm in there.
But the fact that you're even doing that, salute that.
Yeah. So I got a lot of business going on, man. I'm about to start a car rental place. Looking forward to this laundromat and this car wash. I also do big credit. You want to get your credit right? I can show you how to wash your credit, build your credit, give you trade lines to boost your credit. We got a lot of dope things going on, man, and you know,
all right,
let's keep vibing.
No doubt, we definitely gonna tap in. Absolutely,
yes, my brother.
I'll see you again.
Yes,
I appreciate y'all. Urban Echoes Network podcast. We out. Peace.